Hi everyone, welcome to our weekly Facebook and Instagram Live. I'm Christine Daal from Fashion Angel Warrior, and I'm super excited because we are doing a live interview of Gurjot of New York, and I'm super excited. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. If you do have any questions as we go along, definitely be sure to type your questions in, and my assistant Kristen is going to make sure that your question gets answered at the end. Also, if you are on Instagram, this video will be deleted at the end of this broadcast, but you can hop on over to our Facebook group, The Fearless Fashionpreneur, and watch the replay there if you did miss any of it. Also, don't forget to share this video with all your fabulous fashionpreneurs to make sure that they can see this as well. Hi Autumn, how are you? Nice to see you on. And we're gonna get started. So let me introduce Gurjot of Gurjot, New York, and she's gonna tell us a little. Okay, I think we're good. Hopefully we won't have any internet connections. It's good?
Maybe I'm not on the Wi-Fi.
It's not showing?
Maybe Alex, you can help her.
Oh, she's not on the Wi-Fi. But I think we're good. Okay, so I think we can keep going.
It looks like we're on.
I think we're good. We're gonna keep going.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys can see us and hear us. So Gurjot, I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started.
So my background is management consulting. I actually didn't grow up in the fashion world, but I had a career that I really enjoyed in consulting. I have an MBA, so I did that whole thing for quite a while.
Okay.
And then I was home with my kids for a while. And actually after my formal, big firm consulting, I had my own consulting firm. So
oh wow!
Yeah,
so you had your own business as well.
I had my own business. So
okay.
I had some experience being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And then I was home with my kids for a while, and then I, at the time, was thinking about going back to work. I just assumed that I would go back into consulting because that is my first love. And I enjoyed it, but I thought, you know what, let me just take a minute and sort out what's really important to me.
Okay.
And so I took about 3 days on the beach.
Yeah.
And just, and really let myself dream. And I think that we don't do that very often.
Yeah.
You know, we just kind of do what we are supposed to.
Yeah.
What we're comfortable, what we're supposed to, or what is expected. So that was a big deal for me to really just take a pause and say what, and just, kind of have this outlook of given the opportunity, if only, I had the chance, what would that be?
Right.
And so all my ideas, interestingly enough, had to do with advancing women in the workplace.
Okay.
So I realized that's my passion, is to really work with corporate women who are trying to achieve something, who are on the front lines of their careers every day. And, so my ideas, had to do, there were some technology, software ideas, mentoring ideas, but I felt like all of those things were being addressed.
Okay.
And the idea of creating the new power suit for women, I couldn't let it go. You know? I just was like, you know what, I think maybe that will be my contribution, to help move women forward. So
that's such an interesting avenue to go down, because immediately when you said empowering women, I thought of coaching and mentoring and things like that. And to think of it from the other side of it, what we wear, which is super important to really helping us feel empowered.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we talk about how, dressing is not superficial. It can be perceived that way, but it's not a superficial consideration.
No.
We say that it's one of the tools that you have in your career development toolkit. You've got your qualifications, you have your education, you have your personal presence, your gravitas, your ability to communicate, and then you have your dressing. So, that's where I felt, could also be, because through my whole career in consulting, I kind of struggled to find what felt right.
Okay.
And I also felt like there was zero advice given.
For yourself.
To me as a corporate individual on what I'm supposed to wear.
Okay.
So there was a lot of sorting out that, that went on. So I think maybe that might have had something to do with why I felt so strongly about it.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And what would you say is your big why? Why you had to do this? Why you felt so compelled to really move in this direction?
So my mission is to advance women in the workplace by dressing them impeccably.
Yeah.
So that's it. We just I feel like women have made it. We've made it.
Yes, we have made it.
We made it. But
we're taking in the men's jobs.
But our dressing options have not kept up.
Okay.
So that's where I feel, Gurjot New York can play a role, is to really help the woman reflect who she is and her brand and her, power and presence through her dressing. And we can talk about it more, but, we're obsessed with quality.
Yeah.
So that's a big differentiator.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. And talk about a little bit about the line and what it consists of. And I know you have a couple of different collections, so tell us a little bit about that.
So we have 3 collections for women, Ready, Ready Select, and Custom.
Okay.
So Ready is baseline suiting. I call it a collection that has real bench strength to it.
Okay.
Because it's deep. It has, jackets, pants, skirts, dresses, blouses, other top, like everything can be mixed and matched, and you can just take a few, go on your business trip, or cycle through it every other week, and that's your core workwear. And the baseline for that is the fabric quality is actually better than anything you'll find at retail. Like our baseline is a higher level to begin with, so it's a super 100 lightweight Italian wool.
Wow.
And everything is lined in silk. And then Ready Select is for the client who say she has enough, in Ready we have like basic colors like black and charcoal and navy, and everything's lined with a pop of color, but maybe you have enough black.
Right.
So you might want a gold pinstripe, or you might want a herringbone, or you might want a totally cool brocade pattern on your jacket. So in Ready Select, we can do that where the client will choose her special fabric, her special lining.
Okay.
Also with Ready Select, we do custom patterns.
Cool.
So say that you have trouble finding pants, which is a common problem. I mean, every woman's body is different. It's really hard to find pants off the rack that feel fabulous.
I agree. Pants have probably got to be the worst, thing to shop for.
And I have clients who
really
stop wearing pants. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I just don't do pants because I can't find any.
Yeah.
So we are the solution for that. We will make you an amazing pair of pants.
That's awesome.
And we will make you a pattern so that's like a one-time investment, a pattern that fits perfectly, and then you can reorder at the ready-to-wear price. So then every time you order, you know that this pant is going to be great. So Ready Select is a combination of special fabrics and then special patterns.
Okay.
And then Custom is a full-on, super luxurious experience where I will work with a client one-on-one. We will dream, vision, what is it that she's looking for? Maybe she has a custom suit she wants for, a special event at work or a gala. And it could be a suit, it could be a dress. A lot of my clients they're the keynote speaker at the event. So we've made custom dresses with a little bolero jacket and a little special pocket where she can tuck in her speech.
Oh, nice.
And just pull it out. Yeah. So we also do, interestingly enough, we'll do some interesting wedding gowns.
Wow. Okay.
But it's all for the same woman. It's that same corporate woman who has different needs. For day to evening dressing.
So you're really taking her throughout her entire life.
Exactly.
Which is really great. That's awesome. And you're giving her that specialized, customized attention and detail.
We're very much about customize and detail. We want women to feel like when they come to us, they are stepping out of the insanity of New York City. And they're just going to relax.
Which can be very insane for those of you who don't live here.
And just come to our atelier, it's the morning, have a cup of coffee. It's the evening, have a glass of champagne, and just relax and focus on you. What do you need? What's important to you? What events do you have coming up? What big meetings? What do you need to feel amazing? Yeah.
It's interesting, even sitting here in your showroom, because we're on the second floor. That even though we are in this crazy busy city, you don't even hear a lot of the noise outside.
I know.
Which I wonder if it's because we're a little higher
we're
up.
a little higher.
It's great.
It's a nice touch. I actually like that we are on the second floor because it's a little private.
Yeah.
But it still feels, a little retail.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. It's a really great space. We'll show you the space a little bit later. Don't worry. So another thing, I'm always telling my clients, it's super important that you have a USP. What's your unique selling proposition? What's going to make you stand out from every other competitor out there? So what would you say is your USP?
So our key USPs are quality, fit, and construction.
Okay.
So quality, I mentioned the fabric.
Yes.
So our baseline fabric is higher quality than what's given or sold to women at retail. So retail, you'll find, you know, when you think of wool, sometimes people think of like it's scratchy and it's uncomfortable and it's heavy and it's that suit that I used to hate wearing. So that is not our wool. You know, this is not your mother's suit or the suit that you might have worn 10 or 15 years ago. You know, this is lightweight, breathable, beautiful. Like when you feel that it's like butter. Like it's just amazing. It's luxury. Yeah. But that's what my clients deserve. Like that's what women should be wearing. And frankly, I've imported a lot of best practices from menswear tailoring because they have a 200-year history, if not longer, of custom tailoring. And there's a whole legacy that goes with that. And we feel like we're creating that for women. Okay. So it's a legacy of quality. And then the other item I would say is fit. We're obsessed with fit. Yeah. And we recognize that women are normal, real human beings. You know, they are not what you see in the media.
They're not all stick figures, size 2.
They're not stick figures.
Models.
Imagine that. We're not stick figures. So, you know, our curves and our body and our shape has to be fit. And we are super focused on doing that, whether it's through a custom pattern or alterations. Okay. And I have so many clients who say, you know, okay, I'm going to get that when I lose 10 pounds. Or, you know, let me just, and, you know, my response to that is no. Like, you're perfect the way you are.
Exactly.
Let me dress you. Let me fit you. You're going to feel incredible. And then if you want to lose those 10 pounds, it's up to you. Right. But that's not a prerequisite.
Exactly.
And I feel like retail kind of makes us feel like when you go through a situation where nothing fits or stuff is always off, you end up feeling bad about yourself.
Yeah, it's totally true. I had a client one time, she hated shopping for that very reason because everything that she put on, she just felt horrible. She wanted to cry. Yeah. And it was because she didn't know what size she was, number one, and she didn't know how to properly dress herself. But the clothing is not made for her body type.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a lot of women really need that customized option.
And it should be that way. When I talk about the clothing options not keeping up, like that's what I mean. Yes. And you know what's interesting? So I just learned this recently. We just posted on LinkedIn. Okay. So my clients will ask me, like, where did the sizing system come from for women? Yes. Because for men, it's like inches, you know, it's all based on your actual body size. Right. So why, for women, is it like an 8 or a 10? And then like
numerical.
And then every brand has their own version of size 8.
Yes.
So apparently in the 30s, the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, did a survey of women in certain cities, and it was only of white women. Okay. They didn't include any other minorities. Okay. In only certain cities in the U.S. and developed. Did a survey and then developed the proposed sizing system based on that, so that manufacturing and industry could have some standards. Okay. So that apparently is the history.
Is how we got our sizes.
Yeah. So we don't. That doesn't really reflect.
Yeah.
You know. No. Today.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's not, because it's not a numerical inches. It's hard to say what size are you, because in every brand they come up with their own sizing. Exactly. Our sizing has been distorted so much over the years that a size 6 is really a size 10, but we're calling it a size 6 to make you feel better, and no one even knows what they are.
Your image of yourself is kind of distorted by all of that too. So we're not about that. We're about you're perfect the way you are. Exactly. Let us dress you, and you'll feel even better.
I love it.
And then, you know, then your life is your runway. That's our tagline. So,
I love it. Yeah. Cute tagline.
Thank you.
And then construction. You also
construction. So this is what's interesting. Okay. When I started the collection, so I went to FIT for a year before I started the collection, because I've sewn my whole life. Okay. But I don't think anyone would wear that. Probably. Besides me. Yes. And my kids, because I forced them to. But, you know, I didn't, so that level, so FIT is where I learned about how to develop a collection, about construction. And at the same time, I did a whole survey of menswear and custom tailoring for men. And I brought best practices over from menswear into what we're doing. So construction is one of those things. So construction is about how is a piece put together? What are the other components beyond just the fabric that you're using? You know, you can just throw a jacket together. But this jacket, the Madison jacket that I'm wearing, there's actually, thank you, there's 6 layers of fabric between the interior and the exterior. Wow. So, but you don't, it's not bulky.
You don't see it, no.
But it's called canvas, there's some, it's called horsehair. Right. There's some cashmere in there. So there's different pieces that we've, you know, incorporated to give construction to the piece.
Yeah.
You know, so it has a presence.
And body.
And then as a result, it frames the face beautifully. You present yourself well. This is like the power jacket.
Right.
There might be times when you want a less constructed jacket. We have those too. We always have a little piece of canvas in all of our stuff because I think construction gives you flair.
Right.
It gives you presence. It lets people know.
Definitely carries that like authority factor. Yeah.
So
like,
even
I'm the woman in the room. I'm the leader.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm the leader.
Listen to me. Yes,
I
have a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could go on and on.
Probably.
Together.
Yes. We could turn into a whole feminist movement here. Women. No.
Yeah, but that's it, and that's why I think construction is important. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
That's so important.
Even in our, you know, I don't do cardigans because there's plenty of cardigans out there, and they're also very soft.
Yes.
But when I do a softer piece, I'll do a knit with a little bit of construction to go with it. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a little more engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah. Now, what made you decide to go the direct-to-consumer route? Because you have never sold, correct me if I'm wrong, to other retailers.
Correct.
Okay. So what made you go that route as far as your business model?
So it was the retail math class I took at FIT.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So
what happened?
Well, so it just scared me, you know. So what happened was it was taught by a guy who was high up in Macy's in finance. And he was explaining, for example, at Macy's that sometimes on a given piece they'll have a 5-cent margin, right? So they're really managing their costs against what they're selling and their revenue. And I came from the consulting world, which is very different from fashion. So just to contrast it, in consulting, you get a client and you say, this is the project scope, this is what I'm going to charge you. And then they sign it and you agree. And then if anything changes, like they want you to do more, you go back and say, hey, that wasn't in the original scope, so we're going to charge you more. And they go, oh yeah, you're right, so here you go. Right. So that's kind of how it works in consulting.
Yes.
In fashion, what I learned is, say I sold $100,000 of goods to like Macy's, pretend, any retailer. So that's great, they pay me $100,000, but then they only sell 50 of that. So then they can turn around and charge me back $50,000.
Yes.
So the chargebacks, that concept was very new to me. And the more people I spoke to who were in fashion told me that that can kill a new designer.
It can destroy you.
Yeah.
Your whole business could go underground like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I had some runway and capital to put into this, but I did not want to risk it on that, you know. Yeah. So I said, you know what, let me start direct to consumer because I feel very close to my client. Right. You know, I was my client. You know, I lived that life when I was in consulting. Right. And I said, let me just start and establish myself and establish the brand, build it up, and then, you know, maybe we can add some strategic retail. So that's actually what we're looking at now. Oh, wow. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So it's, and meanwhile, the industry has turned upside down. Right. In the last 8 years. And having inventory and even selling to, you know, all the big retailers are struggling financially. Yep. So that whole model anyway is deteriorating. Didn't pan out. Yeah. So what is lucky for us now, particularly as we're starting to talk to investors, is that we're able to say we are the new model of retail because we're direct to consumer. Right. We have an online presence, and then we can strategically add partnerships with retail with terms that work for us. Right. Because we have a brand, we have a presence. Right. So we're a little bit established, you know, so we don't have to take some of the terms. Hopefully we can define some terms. Right, right. And then even, you know, we're looking at possibly partnering with some of the online retailers. Okay. You know, so again, without a chargeback model. Oh yeah, the chargeback model, it will kill you. It will literally kill you. I mean, that's why I deter most of my clients from dealing with all the major department stores. Everybody wants to be in Saks, everybody wants to be in Bergdorf's, everybody wants to be in Macy's, and it can kill you. It can totally kill you. So I always say, go to the smaller brand, go to the smaller boutiques. Yeah. Do online first. Yeah. Right. Build your brand slowly that way. Yeah. And you started only online. I started not even online. I started only in person. Wow. So doing markets and pop-ups and things. I did my first trunk show, I did at a law firm. Oh, wow. In a partner's office. Wow. That was empty. So, that's so cool. They're like, hey, you can use the partner's office. I'm like, oh my God, great. And I just took all my stuff and like set up a little store. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so great. And then when did you make the transition to having an actual boutique? So here's what's interesting is
Yeah.
2 years ago we moved here. 2
Okay.
years ago, October, so 2015.
Okay.
And I wasn't actually planning on having a retail shop.
Right.
That was always my dream. Like
It
my
was your
dream
dream.
was like,
Okay.
one day I'm gonna have a store.
Yeah.
You know.
I think a lot of designers want to have their own
Yeah.
store. It's kind of that like just feeling of having space and
Yeah.
you know, all of your stuff is everywhere on display.
It's like you're there.
Yeah.
You know, it's your
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happened was we were at a different location. We were in 51st and Madison, and we were in a space that was a showroom. So it wasn't like retail. It was on the 6th floor.
Okay.
And we set it up like kind of retail, but it was not retail.
To a showroom. Yeah.
And it was by appointment. And we're still mostly by appointment. We do
Okay.
have walk-ins because we're retail, but
Yeah.
we just ran out of space. So
Wow.
as part of our real estate search, we were looking at other showroom type spaces where it was like enough room to host a client since we were by appointment. We're like, it's fine if they have to get on an elevator, like
Yeah.
they understand it's a showroom. And then my broker showed me this space and I was like, oh man. I love it. Oh.
You're like, oh, I just love it.
Yeah. Then I'm like, oh no. Like, how am I going to do this? Yeah. So I saw it, fell in love with it immediately.
Okay.
And then,
Which is usually the first sign.
which is the first sign. And then I actually was very close to signing something else.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
a friend of mine was like, all you do is talk about the brownstone. Why are you not getting the brownstone?
Yeah.
Because this is no
Yeah.
brownstone. I said, you know what, you're right. So then we negotiated, got, what worked for us. And I'm so happy that it worked out this way.
Yeah, that's so great. And now at the time, were you working solely on your own or did you have assistants? Had you already had a couple people on your team?
Oh yeah, I had
Okay.
quite a few people
Okay.
at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
So I I launched the brand in 2010.
Okay.
And then I had some consultants that I had hired who were helping me with the brand,
Okay.
with marketing. Early on, I had someone who like just knew fabric and sourcing and all of that.
That's great.
So they helped me until I kind of got my sea legs. And then when we were at the other location, for a while I had a bigger team.
Okay.
So I had 3 or 4 people full time.
Okay.
And that was a model that kind of worked and didn't work, so it was almost like too much.
Right, you kind of grew too fast maybe.
Yeah, or maybe we should have focused on different things, meaning
Right.
we were nailing down production, which was awesome. The brand was pretty well nailed down, but I think we should have been focused more on selling, versus building the brand. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you know what I mean.
Yes. Oh, I know. I think I drill this into my clients' heads all the time. Like, it is all about sales at the end of the day, because if you don't have sales, you don't have a business.
Yeah.
You have a hobby.
Yeah.
And there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, oh, but I'm doing what I love. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not making any money.
Yeah.
It's not a business if you're not making money. So, yeah, that's super important.
I feel like I learned that lesson over and over again. No, I mean now.
Oh, I think we all have to learn
do.
it over again.
Like,
but, yes.
since we've been here, so that I feel like that kind of changed everything.
Okay.
Because this is a new level. This was a new level.
Yeah.
And this is a store, and we're
more
online, and
yes.
it's more overhead,
Yeah.
and it's also. But I think we hit a lot of milestones over the years, so we were ready for this.
Okay.
So now our focus is client acquisition because everything else is set.
Right.
We even have a custom back-end ordering system.
Okay.
So our brand ambassadors can order through the iPad.
Oh, wow.
So they can be seeing clients here. They can be seeing them at a pop-up or in another city. Put the order in. We get it here. We're 100% made in New York. Put it into production. So I took time because I come from consulting.
Right.
I can't help myself. It's like, the process has to be set.
And a system.
Yeah.
So that it's duplicatable and it saves you time and money. And
exactly.
What a system should do.
That's what a system should do. So like operationally, we're very set.
Right.
And so now, and sales-wise, we're learning, we're building, we're growing, we're trying different things.
Of course.
But that's what I'm focused on now. Is like, what are the best ways for us to reach our audience?
Yeah.
In the most, effective, meaningful way.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So inspiring to listen to your story. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you mentioned brand ambassadors. Talk a little bit about the brand ambassadors. I know you work with image consultants and stylists and how that all works.
Yeah. So our brand ambassador, and so they come to us as their workwear solution. And so what happens quite often is that those clients they bring us become long-term clients.
That's awesome.
Because maybe they've already tried retail, maybe they had some frustrations that, either they just hate shopping retail, which can be stressful, or, can't find the right, piece or color or fabric or fit. And so when they come here, it's like we're that, we're that solution.
Yeah.
We're the solution. So what I've found is that it's almost like they're pre-qualifying clients for us.
Yeah.
Because they, and it's great for them to work with us because they know that we are their solution. So when they bring clients, they know they're going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So that works really well.
Yeah, that's a really good strategic partnership for you. And I think a lot of companies can figure out a way to have brand ambassadors really helping you as kind of your own sales team. Right?
As your own sales team.
They're your sales team.
And it's a mutually beneficial.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there was some learning along the way because not all stylists are focused on the corporate woman.
Right.
Some people are celebrity stylists.
Right.
So it's kind of like we had to kind of also figure out who are the right types of stylists
to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And now let's talk about your subscription box
service.
I feel like you have so many things going on, which is great.
We did a lot this summer.
But it's great because you don't have all your eggs in one basket, which is another thing I try to teach my clients. Like, have different revenue streams coming in. Like, that's how the wealthy get their wealth, right? It's not all in one basket. If something doesn't go right or goes wrong, they lose it all, right? And you have your eggs in kind of different baskets. So the subscription box is kind of a new trend happening. So tell us a little bit about yours.
So we looked around. We looked around. We studied that. We studied Stitch Fix. We studied others.
Yes.
And we thought about our client, first and foremost. And we're right now based in New York. We've popped up in Chicago and DC.
Okay.
So we have clients in those cities. We have clients in California. Whoever happens to come through New York. We have clients in London. They'll maybe pick up a few pieces or keep us on their schedule when they're in town. But we wanted to be able to do more. So the subscription box seemed like a great way to serve clients everywhere.
Yeah.
So it works twofold. One, for clients who might have encountered us somewhere, but now they're in a different location.
Okay.
We already have all their info. So we know their sizing, we know their fit, we know their colors, we know what they like. So when they opt in, we just send them, 2 or 3, 3 or 4 pieces. It could be usually it's quarterly.
Okay.
Or it could be one thing monthly. Our price point is a little higher, so it's not like you can get, or you could if you wanted, 5 pieces a month. We're okay with that.
Hey, if you've got the money.
Yeah, but usually it's kind of a quarterly 4 or 5.
Okay.
So that's nice. And for new clients who have never met us before, it's easy to fill out the survey.
Okay.
And it gives us, it's almost like they're here with us in a fitting. Because it's like we take them through the questions, what we need to understand. And then we have someone on our team. It's not like an auto robot.
Yes.
Like, okay, boom, this is what you get based on those answers. No, we evaluate,
we
perceive, we discuss, and then we offer what we think will be a good fit.
Right.
So,
so then you ship it to them.
Then we ship it to them.
They try it on.
They keep what they want.
Send back what they don't.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a really great service.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and it is true. You get to reach people in so many other countries and so many other locations.
Yeah.
And really make sure business more virtual.
Right. And they're busy. Our clients are, everyone's busy. And our women in particular are super busy. So they like the convenience.
Yeah. So I want to move into hopefully we have some time. We're running out of time. But I want to move into talking about how you started the business financially, if you're comfortable talking about that a little bit. So how did you finance the business when you first started?
So I had some personal money, and that's what I used.
Okay, so that's good. And you recently talked about getting investors, or you have an investor already?
We have 2 investors.
So how did that process work? What point were you like, okay, we really need to get an investor? What made you decide to go that route?
Yeah. So I made the decision last December.
Okay.
And that's after we had been here about a year.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? This is awesome. Like, we are set. Like, this is a good location for us. This feels right. I feel like I can make a lot of money out of this location. You know what I mean? You just have a feeling like we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
So I want to scale.
Okay.
So I just I made that decision and that commitment.
Yeah.
That I am interested in scaling. So what is that going to take? And so what I understood is, we have our team. We have, Alex is in charge of production, pattern work, and she also handles our tech. So those are 3 very important things.
Yes.
So that's
the multitasker. Yes.
I am predominantly responsible for business development, new clients, and kind of everything else. And then we have our brand ambassadors. So, I thought about, what do I need to do to get to the next level? And the next level is to have committed salespeople who are focused on selling every day.
Yes.
And also to launch some of these initiatives that you mentioned, the subscription box. Right. We launched a new website.
Okay.
We launched a new social media presence. Like, just elevate
everything.
We launched a corporate relations program where we connect with corporations and say, hey, we know you want to advance your women. You've got various women's initiatives. Let us support you and be the dressing element. So I wanted to do all those things. Yeah. And, it's great if you have endless, money you can put into things.
Yes.
But I took it as, pretty far with my own resources. Yeah. And the other thing too, and I feel this very strongly, I think it's important to involve other people financially. Because if you're committed to growing in that way, because then you've got more stakeholders. And they're thinking for you and with you.
Right. You're not the only one that's got a piece of the pie.
You're not the only one. And, and I believe, I want this to be a collective effort. I want it to involve a lot of people. Yeah. And so we did a couple convertible notes at the beginning of the year. And you were saying, I think you had asked, or I was thinking about, like, how hard was it? So what the hardest part was figuring out that I wanted to do it.
Okay.
And then finding the investors was not hard.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And that surprised me.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Well, because they're both current clients.
Okay.
So
got it.
I talked to one of my clients, and she was interested. I happened to be talking to another client. She was like, you know what, I would be interested. So I hadn't. I mean, that is just absolute blessing.
Oh yeah.
Like, how wonderful that it worked out that way.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going back out now to raise some more money. Okay. So God willing, it will be also easy and quick.
Yes.
But you know what? If it's not, it's not. You know, because I have learned so much, Christine, about investors and operating from a position of power when you are dealing with investors.
Oh, yes.
So I used to be like, oh, which investor would take me? Who would be interested in me? Who would know? You know what? Who would be a great strategic partner for us?
Right.
Who would be willing to join in this journey with us in a really meaningful way? Who actually not only cares about maybe our model and our revenue and what we're doing, but who is so passionate about advancing women the way we are?
Wow. And that's what I was just going to say. Your client is perfect. Is ideal, right? To have someone like that, because she's already invested in you and your brand to begin with. She already loves it. Yeah. And so then she's just
and she is like my muse, in the sense that she, her profile is that's the customer, that's who I'm serving. So the more I can learn about that and kind of meet those needs, the better we'll do. Yeah. Yeah. But I do also want, so that's great to have that profile, but I also, when we go for, maybe a bigger type of investor, investment, equity, where we think about that, I would want someone an investor or group of investors who who's done this before. Yeah. Who's like, you know what, it might have been 20 years ago, but I started a store. There was no online at that time, but then I had this subscription program, and then I sold. Don't you think, different sales experience with different sales models? More experience,
different experience, right? You always want someone, I always say, that has different experiences and different strengths than you do, that they can really bring something to the table. So I think that would be a great avenue to go down.
And luckily, there's more people investing in women now, or more women investors who are very focused on finding companies to invest in that are focused on women. So I think it's a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that we, aren't looking at other investors who are not women or not female focused, because we have a good model regardless. Right. But I think it's an opportune time.
Yeah. And you mentioned something really important too about your mindset about going into it, which I'm always trying to drill into my clients' heads. Like, the mindset of how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And so you were looking at it initially like, who's going to take me? Like, as if you were the lower end or the lesser player in the two, right? And now you're looking at it, who can actually contribute to what I've already built? Like, I have this amazing model, I have this amazing system, we're doing something amazing for these women, like, who's going to be able to contribute to that? Yeah. Which I think is super important, and that's going to help you find the right investor.
Find the right. And I have to give credit to my business coach that I've been working with, who's really helped me with mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew?
I'm so glad you say that. That's why I do what I do, and I work with so many clients.
Yeah, mindset is a huge, I think when you, whatever that level is, you know, for me it's this level. I was going to say when you hit a certain level, but I don't know if, for me it was this level. When I hit this level, so December of last year, that was where the mindset stuff kicked in for me. And I've always been someone who's like, you can ask my kids, like my side table, every single self-help, mindset, like psychology,
Think and Grow Rich,
neuroscience, like I'm fascinated by it.
Right,
because,
that's great.
You know, because there's science behind it, there's psychology behind it, there must be something, you know, so I've tried to work on myself, but I think, you know, this year I made that big decision to invest in a coach. And I didn't expect that that's where we would start, but it's definitely like cleared everything for me. Like, it's just very clear now.
I'm so happy to hear you say that, because it's very powerful when you start to work with a coach, what can actually happen. And even I have a coach, and I'm a coach, right? So
no, it makes sense.
It's like you understand the importance, right, that you don't know everything, you can't do everything yourself, you know you need to work on certain things, and it's going to be so much easier and more effective if you have someone else there pushing you, cheering you on, holding you accountable, you
like
know,
in
to
sports,
really
you know, when you're a kid on a team. And I think too, like, you know, so one of the other books you read about the growth mindset, right?
Okay.
There's the kind of I forget what the other, there's two types of mindsets, and one of them is growth, and one is like more limited.
Right.
But, you know, when you keep yourself in a growth mindset where whatever the failure is or the mistake, it's an opportunity to learn. And that sounds so corny, but that's the reality.
It's true.
So, you know, if you keep yourself always in that mindset, which I try to do, I think it helps you grow faster and do better, you know, ultimately.
Yeah, and I think you have to fail in order to succeed.
Absolutely.
And there's no business owner I've ever known that has not failed ever. I mean,
I tell my kids, like, they're so annoyed because I have all these things, but it's failure. It's like, and you've heard it, it's not how many times you fail, it's how many times you get up.
Get up. Yep.
You know, so.
Well, even watching a toddler, I enjoy watching babies and toddlers because you learn so much from them. When they fall down, they don't cry.
Right.
They don't stay down. They get right back up immediately. And they're just like, it's fine. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And yet, as adults, when we get thrown down, we stay down, or we cry, or we go and vent to our mom or our girlfriend or whatever. And we need to, like, stop that stuff and cut it out.
We attach value to it.
Yeah, just get right back up and just keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And that's been a big lesson to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Showing up is huge.
Yeah.
You know, so keep going.
Yeah, totally true. So any advice that you would give to new fashion entrepreneurs that are looking to start their own line, maybe do something like you did, start out direct to consumer, do maybe a customizable line or something couture?
I think the advice would be to always stay focused on the revenue, even from the beginning. You know, because you do recognize that in business it takes time to get profitable. It takes time to even get to revenue.
Yes.
And then it takes time to get profitable.
Right.
And then it takes time to go beyond.
Yeah.
But I think that always having that formula in mind is important.
Yeah.
You know? So what is your timeline?
Right.
How much time do you have to get to where you need to get?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you might not have enough time. But that's where the creativity comes in. Because when you have those limitations, then suddenly you realize, oh, maybe I'm going to do it this other way. That you wouldn't have thought
start to push yourself or think of something outside the box, right, to get to your goal.
So I think, you know, if you're serious about creating a profitable business, it's important to keep that, you know, top of mind.
Yeah. Such great advice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, let's see if we have any questions from our wonderful live people. Have we had any questions come in? Otherwise, I'll keep going with a couple of questions. I'll let you guys think of some questions. Let's talk about the industry, I guess. Have you seen the industry change since you started, right? 'Cause
So
it's been 8 years.
Yes. So, you know, talk about kind of the demise of retail.
Yes, that's that side of things,
that's one. You know, when I started out, you know what was big was guilt.
Yes.
So guilt was going up, and like all the ideas and concepts that they had, and they were kind of the model.
Yeah.
And now fast forward, they've been sold to Hudson's Bay at a real discount. They weren't able to, you know, maybe achieve everything that they'd hoped to.
Yeah.
But they had, you know, so much experience and so many iterations along the way. And I think that at that time when I started out, it was like, oh, e-commerce, like Guild and other platforms. There was so many.
Everything was going e-com.
Everything was so e-commerce, and like brick and mortar's dead, and then like all the retailers are trying to get an online presence, and then you had some new, you know, pure play e-commerce brands that then were like, wait, we need a brick and mortar presence. So now I think what I see, which I think is our model, is you have your e-commerce, you have a little bit of brick and mortar, you make a decision like where you're more heavily weighed towards. We're more heavily weighed towards brick and mortar right now, but I'm looking to scale the e-commerce part of it too. Obviously, that's a revenue channel. But I think now that our brand is more known, that'll be easier to do compared to when nobody knows who you are. So.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I think that I feel like in the tech world, there's like this overemphasis or importance given to technology. We joke about it, you know, because we're a little, you know, we're in the custom tailoring business, right? We know what it takes to make a beautifully customized piece. And sure, you can do a lot of that with scanning your body or, you know, measuring yourself. But, you know, when it comes to real expertise, sometimes you still need that human touch. So we look to, obviously, we want to leverage technology every way we can. So eventually that will be like using technology to help with our pattern making, or using, you know, if there is scanning technology out there that's actually good, you know, maybe we'll try to tap into that for our clients as we scale. But the myth of, I don't know if you've seen that, you know, like the fantasy of like, well, this technology is going to give you this perfect fit. And this it's not really
realistic. It's not realistic. I agree with you. It's hard to replace, like you said, that human touch, that tailoring, those skills that these tailors have. They've learned their entire life. It's not something you go to school for 1 year or even 5 years and you're a master at. It takes an entire lifetime. Pattern making alone
takes a lifetime.
Most of the great pattern makers have been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years.
Exactly. And I think also there's something to be said for the personal human interaction and the human experience. So that's what I'm very curious about, is how we will grow our brand, because we are very much about the experience. Like you ask any of our clients, like, you know, obviously it's about the clothing, but it's also about the experience you have when you're interacting with us and the brand. So, and we want to maintain that level of caring and level of interest in our clients and level of, you know, our business has really become a network, you know, where I can connect my clients to each other for their business, for their deals, for their needs, for their, if someone's looking for a job, I'm like, oh, by the way, I talked to someone, you know. So that's an interesting byproduct, but that's human, you know, interactions.
And networking.
And, you know, and there was a time when companies made a ton of money doing that. And I don't think that that's over just because technology is amazing. You know, so that's what I'm curious about, is how we're going to fold everything together going forward and use technology in a way that doesn't negate the beauty of the human interaction.
And take away the personal touch. So how do you feel about social media, and how has that played a role in your business?
So social media, you know, I did what I thought I was supposed to do in the beginning, like back in like 2012, 13, we had a team. We did a lot of social media. It was great. Like the content was great. We had a full-on blog that I really love, and we're going to bring that back. But my target audience is women 40 plus. So at that time, you know, 8 years ago, not too many of them were really caring about Twitter and, you know, maybe a little bit of Facebook. And so I left it for a while, like 2015. I was like, you know what, spending all this money, like, do I really need, you know, how do my clients does this really help? But now I've come back, so we relaunched. So now I feel like our new improved social media, and not that our other social media wasn't fabulous, but like I think we did a great job, but I don't know how much our clients needed that. So now we relaunched, you know, our website this summer.
Which is fabulous.
Thank you.
Everyone should go check it out. It's GurjotNewYork.com.
GurjotNewYork.com.
So go check it out.
So and we tie in. So with Instagram, we're able to show all the cool work that we're doing that's not necessarily part of our ready-to-wear collection. Some of our custom, our ready select. LinkedIn, we're doing a lot. Like I was
going to say, LinkedIn has got to be a great platform for you because of the demographic.
Because of the demographic, and it's where I can really share some perspective and opinion and on collectively what's happening with corporate women and advancement, and as well as dressing. So that's been great. Twitter, we usually just is very much event driven when we host events. we'll tweet the event, or when we're participating or sponsoring an event, we'll tweet the event. That's really more what our Twitter is about. Yeah. So we're using it, and I feel good about how we're using it now. Yeah. And more of my customers are on one of those, definitely on LinkedIn,
right?
A little bit of Facebook here and there, and some who are kind of my fashionistas are actually more on Instagram.
Okay. And have you started to dabble in Facebook ads at all? Are you advertising on any of them? Okay.
We've started. That's literally what we're doing, is testing out. We tested out ads. We test out some promotions, but I don't think our brand is really about promotions.
Yeah.
So I was like, why? But ads and building visibility, we've started on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm noticing even over the last month or so, like, it just keeps going lower and lower on Facebook. Like, they're showing less and less of your posts, and really they're forcing everyone essentially to start advertising whether we want to or not.
Oh, interesting.
And so, your post reach won't be as high as maybe it has been in the past. And it's been dwindling, for the last couple years, and now it's really, really low, to the point where I think they're basically forcing everyone to start advertising.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize
that. So I've been starting to incorporate that in a lot of my teaching with my clients and everything, because I feel like it is becoming the next wave of things that you quote unquote have to do. Which we all hate, like, oh, we have to do Twitter and we have to do Instagram, and there's just so many things.
Yeah.
So awesome. So there are questions. Okay, great. So we'll answer a couple of questions. How long have you been working with a coach? Good question.
I started working with my coach in June of this year, so not very long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And how many pieces did you start your first collection with?
My first collection had about 10 pieces.
Okay, awesome.
And so here's the thing, I'm sure you've seen this with your clients, right? Once you get a taste of designing, you're like, I could do this, I could do that. There's a whole bunch of coat dresses I will be doing at some point that I held off on, even in the beginning. Because you have to, like, not being a designer my whole career, when I started doing this initially, like, I understood that intoxication of like, oh my God, like these pieces, and I want to develop these pieces.
Yes.
And so then I had to just like draw the line and be like, how am I going to produce all of this and have samples or ready, how is that going to work? So you kind of have to limit yourself, and I think it's a good limitation to have.
Yeah.
And it forces you to edit. I was so bad at editing. I wanted to show everything. Like our first lookbook, the consultant I was working with, she was like, can you just not put everything in your lookbook? I'm like, no, we have to show like this little thing and this. And she's like, I have to give you some limits, and it's better.
It is better. Yeah. Less is more. And especially in the beginning, I'm glad that you said 10, because I normally tell my clients 6 to 8 is a good place to start. 10 is right around the corner. So yes, and as a designer, you want to be creative, you want to do a million things, but your budget is usually not quite there for development, and development costs are high.
Development costs so much more than you expect, I think. I mean, if you come from a design school, you probably have an experience with muslins and pattern and all the costs that go into it. But I mean, every silhouette costs money. If you want to do it right.
Exactly. If you want to really development right, hire a fit model, professional fit model. Fit it. You'll probably do a couple of fittings, not just one fitting, to get it really, really right. Yeah. It could easily cost you $1,000 per set.
Easily.
Yeah, and people, I think, don't really understand that part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then what is the biggest challenge you have faced thus far in your business?
That's a good question.
Yeah. That is a good question.
I was trying to think about, there's things you could say like, oh, I wish we had more clients, or at some point, I wish we had more of something. But I think, to tell you the truth, like, the biggest challenge has been like those nights you wake up like with that in the pit of your stomach, like absolute terror. Like, wait, how is this going to work out? Yes. Those moments.
Yes.
I think earlier on, like, that was probably, where, you had to, so what I would say to myself is kind of like fear, how do you handle the fear? Because I think that if you're an entrepreneur, inevitably, it's, whatever the brain is doing, there's going to be some fear involved. And there's going to be a little bit of self-doubt and like, holy moly. So, what I would do to handle that is, to me, that was a question. And the question was, how bad do you want it?
Right.
You know, so then that's what would help me push through.
Yeah.
Because the question was, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And if the answer is not that bad, then forget it. Why are you putting your body through this
anxiety? Just go get a job,
yeah.
work for someone else, and you'll have a paycheck at the end of the week. And
But my problem is I want it so bad.
Yeah.
You know, and my analogy in my head is I don't want to be that person who was, you know, you hear the stories like the swimmers, like the woman swam the English Channel, and then like she gave up, but she didn't realize she was 50 feet away from like reaching the goal line. So that is my worst nightmare. Like I cannot be that person. You know, and that goal keeps getting shifted, so I'm still
I think it will always be that way for every entrepreneur. I mean, you create goals and then you reach them and then you create more goals, right? It's just a natural progression.
And I'm just thrilled, you know, I feel like I'm just so grateful to be in the spot that we're in, like, and whatever the challenges are, like, I'm happy to have them, you know, because it's been such an amazing, growing, learning experience, such a gift to have a chance, you know. This was just an idea. You know, but I feel also very strong having been doing this for so many years, where, you know, whereas like 2 years in, you know, when you're a new designer, maybe somebody could topple you over a little easily. You know, create doubt.
You're not grounded as much and you have a lot of that fear.
And I'm sure your clients tell you, like, so many people give you opinions and advice.
Oh, yes.
And oh, well, you should do, oh, no, how's that going to work? Really, you should be selling polo shirts. Somebody said that to me.
Polo shirts?
Your price point is too high. You know, you should really, early on.
Right.
So, you know, when you're vulnerable,
you take all of that in sometimes, and you take ownership of it sometimes.
But now I'm very clear. Like, now when we meet with, like, our factories and stuff, I'm like, do not touch the pattern. You know, like, this is the design.
Right.
Nobody's changing it.
Right.
Because everybody wants to, you know.
Put their idea in. Well, I think everyone wants to be a designer at the end of the day. And so a lot of people like to put their ideas out on you because you are a designer and they want to see their designs, not your designs, right?
But that's what Ready Select is about.
Because you can be your own designer. Yes, you can come and design your own pieces right here. So, okay, we're going to take our last question. Where do you draw your inspiration from? How do you incorporate trends into your line so that it's still classic enough for your customer?
So my inspiration comes from a number of places. It comes for the original kind of base collection. Came from, there was some classic tailored suiting that we did see in the 80s, like not the crazy shoulder pads.
Right.
But there were some attempts in early 90s too that I actually wore and was a part of early in my career. So that's a bit of my inspiration. The quality of menswear tailoring, absolutely.
Right, which I love. And I love that you've incorporated that.
Thank you. And then there's certain lines and silhouettes that you get from, you know, like the Katharine Hepburn, you know, like my clients love that pant or that, you know, that look. I was talking to a client last night about the 1930s suiting look, you know, where women at that time were not supposed to be a twig, you know, so they had bodies and they were dressed beautifully in suiting, you know, and a lot of cool inspiration came from those days. And then I'm inspired by the woman, you know, so I picture my client who, like I said, is on the front line of her career, like making it every day, you know, like whatever. She's a lawyer, she's a consultant, she's a banker, she's in sales, like she's hustling. So I admire that, and I think there's an ambition and a drive, and I kind of think of her as like this superhero who's doing like parkour on the way to work and kind of like lands and then, you know, like that kind of energy. So I get inspiration from that too. And also the real women, you know, like we're all real women and let's just be real about that, you know, that, you know, my clients, you know, most of my clients are 40 plus, and let's not pretend that we have or need to have a 25-year-old body. You know, like love yourself for who you are and just feel great about it. Like you're accomplished, you know, and celebrate that. So those are the things that I get inspiration from. And in terms of trends, it's so interesting because this collection, you know, I can't say that I expected it 100%, but it has held on like through the years, you know, because you always need a good pencil skirt.
Right.
Everybody needs a great jacket.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so true. It's a staple.
It's a staple.
It's part of your foundation of your wardrobe.
Yeah, and silk shells have apparently disappeared from retail, so that helps us because
makes you different.
You know, you need a good silk shell. And then the way I talk to my clients about staying on trend, we introduce new silhouettes every season. We don't go crazy.
Okay, good.
But we have, you know, this was one of my first jackets, a longer, very classic jacket. Now we have some shorter jackets. We have some collarless jackets. You can do a little leather trim on your jacket, you know, so we can make it edgy depending on what the client wants. But to stay on trend, it's a lot of with color.
I was going to say color would be easy.
Color is easy. Right. Accessories, scarves, prints. You don't see a lot of prints right now, but we do a lot of prints. Okay. And I think color is a big thing. So if a client has, say she has one of our black suits, you know, last year the color was green. Yeah. Green. You know, you could get a really cool green scarf to put with that and get a little green in your shoe or whatever. My personal style of dressing is that, like, very much solid and then like accessorize with the shoe and accessorize with the necklace. Right. And I think that's a great way to stay on trend too. Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at some of the pieces. We'll show you guys around a little bit here. So I'll just put that on the table. I'm going to take this. All right, so let's start. You want to start? Where do you want to start?
Yeah, we can start here.
Okay.
So these are, we were talking about our silk shells. So this is called the Essential Blouse, and it's pure silk. It comes in a round neck and a V-neck. Okay. And I've designed it so it just hits on the body really beautifully, so you can wear it tucked in or wear it out, and it still looks polished. Okay. We can step over here. So these are, this is fun. Can I show you this?
Yeah. Let's look at that one.
So this is a removable ruffle. So this blouse, you can wear it. It's a V-neck. So, you know, during the day for work, maybe you just wear it simply, but then when you're going out, I designed it so it just snaps right in. And it's just like this really pretty kind of addition to, you know, you wear this with a pencil skirt. That's a great look.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And then you're going out. So we're very much about day to evening.
Yeah.
Because none of my clients are going home to change.
No. You have to run around. You're in the
have
city.
You know, you have your networking, you have your cocktails, you're going for dinner.
Exactly.
I have some pieces here. What else can I show you? Okay. So this is, this is our, this is the Madison jacket, but it's in a navy pinstripe. Beautiful. With a pop of color.
I mean, look at the detail. You can just see, like, the pockets. Everything has piping around the outside. Like, it's really awesome.
Thank
the
you.
Detail that's inside.
And you know, women's jackets don't usually have pockets. So this is, I designed it actually like, so you have your cash, you have your ID. If you work in a big office building, your phone. You don't have to have your handbag all the time. Right here. This is a tampon pocket.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah. It's a tampon. All of our jackets have tampon pockets.
Oh my gosh.
Because.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my gosh, I used to hide mine like in my sleeve.
Yeah. I know. Everyone has their story of where they hide it. You know, and like then you worry.
Oh my gosh, crazy. How awesome is that?
I'll show you our pants.
All of you women should love that.
It's a great picture. These are our pants. Okay. It's a really great, it's like a bootleg. It has kind of a wider waistband that kind of tucks you in. We have this little extra button that my client says take off 5 pounds. And then
it's always good when you can make us look thinner.
After lunch, you know. Yes. And then we line our pants, which is something that's really different. So I like to show they're 3/4 lined in the front. Okay. And the seams are taped. So it's just a beautiful construction.
Yeah, the construction is impeccable.
You know, and it drapes so well. Yeah. And we have plenty of room for alterations too. You know, so especially for pants.
Yeah.
And I want to show you a dress.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a really cute. So we have sheath dresses. This is a really cute dress with a little cap sleeve.
Cute.
We're showing it in flannel for fall, winter. And of course, everything is lined in silk.
Lined in the silk.
So you can see.
Which will feel like pajamas.
Yes, exactly. What else can I show you? This is let me just toss this over here.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know if you can see, it's a sparkly pinstripe.
Glitter.
So this is more for like a corporate dinner.
Okay.
You know, so like some of my clients, they don't want to wear a cocktail dress, but they want something with a little shimmer and shine.
Shimmer or something on it. Yeah.
Where's this? I'm going to show you this jacket. This is such a cool jacket. This is a Ready Select jacket. This is wool. This fabric is pure wool.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I would never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they call this shark skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shine.
Yeah. So this is a cool, you know, again, a great way to express your personal style. Choose your fabric, choose your lining.
Yeah. I would get hot pink in all of mine.
It's a hot pink?
Hot pink inside, yes. That's my brand color.
That is your brand. Okay, here we go. So this would be you.
That would be my jacket, yes, the hot pink. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Fashion Angel Warrior color.
I'll have to get one of these too.
Yeah. Oh, you're so sweet. Awesome.
And then like our wrap, I'll just show you the wrap dress.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see the wrap because I love.
So the wrap, I designed it so that basically a couple things. We have a privacy snap here so it doesn't open. Okay. And then I also designed it so that you're covered. So when you sit down, usually the dress splits.
Yeah.
So I designed it so you have extra coverage.
All the way over.
So you're not worried, right? You're focused on work. So you sit down and your dress keeps you covered. You know, so
you don't have to worry
little
about
details like that.
Yes. Yeah. It's really important.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think of those extra steps, especially at retail.
Yeah, especially at retail. And this is a fun scarf I can show you.
Oh, yeah.
So this is called the flat ruffle.
Okay.
So you can wear it either totally flat, so you can
extend it.
You know, like just stretch it out, and you know how like just wrap it around your neck a couple times. Or if you want to make it a little more decorative, you just pull on the string and you can ruche it. And then it's like, you know, just to wear it over your dress.
Yeah.
So this is a great day to evening option because you can wear the dress to work.
By itself.
You know, great, you know, sheath dress. And then you just dress it up for going out.
I love it. So cute.
So I love pieces that do more than one thing.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Because my client needs that convenience.
Yeah.
And then we have some great tops over here. These are our, this is called the Barrington. It's a button front. It has a covered placket. It's a little bit of stretch silk. So this shirt is great under suiting or with jeans on the weekend.
Yeah.
Which I discovered like everything works with jeans on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We have also some classic, the same shirt in the French blue.
Pretty.
You know, just great shirting for work. And also, again, you can wear it untucked and it won't look, you know, messy. What else can I show you? I have some, these are some gala dresses. Oh wait, I want to show you this jacket. This is the Hudson. This is the shorter jacket I was telling you about. With, it's collarless. And sometimes clients will, with this trim, will do it in leather.
The leather.
So this is a Ready Select, where the client chose the fabric and then the fun purple.
Okay, cool.
We also have this jacket, which is a wrap.
Ooh, interesting.
So this is, it has a little tie.
Yeah.
So you just tie it off like right here, and it's super cute.
Yeah.
But some of my clients don't like the tie because it's too cute.
Do they cut it off?
So we just put a snap here.
Okay.
Yeah, we get rid of the ribbon and we, you know, but this is also the same concept, the interior pockets and
beautiful.
Just great suiting.
Beautiful.
I'll even show you this one. This is, you like pop of color. So this is
pretty
pinstripe with
peach.
A little peach.
Yeah.
You know? Like how fun is that?
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun.
So to your point, like really expressing your personal style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you might be required at your job to wear a particular color, gray, black, navy, right? You really can't wear anything bright on the outside, like my super crazy red jacket that I have on. Might not be allowed, right?
Yeah,
so then you can have fun on the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And these are some pieces we're showing for fall winter, our velvet dresses. So it's basically the same sheath dress silhouette, but we use a silk velvet.
Oh my gosh.
This is a
nice. Yeah.
This
is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. And then this is the purple. I love this purple velvet. But you know, silk velvet, usually the velvet you find in the market is a polyester velvet, so it doesn't feel as soft.
Oh, yeah.
So we only use, I'm a little obsessed with natural fibers, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, yeah. And that's great, and that's another thing that makes it unique.
Yeah. Very, very special. And then finally, here are some gala dresses that I've done. So you can see totally different kind of
beautiful
feel. But this is for, you know, you've got the black tie, you have a special party. You know, so once we know our clients, we can really do anything.
Yeah.
for them.
So awesome.
Yeah.
So that's our interview with Gurjot. Thank you so much, Gurjot.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
such
you
a
for
pleasure having
me.
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll see everyone next Tuesday, Facebook and Instagram Live. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.